The irony of the last 24 hours is that I made a joke on yesterday's show. Is it getting Cooley in here, or is that just me? And then we finally had our first storm of the summer, and it actually was cool. Cooler. Yeah,
cooler is a fair way to put
so
it.
Logan Cooley's presence in the desert is already being felt. Thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig and Sean. We gave Petey the day off because if you guys were there last night for the Die Hard only hangout for our diehards, what a freaking time. Petey went on for almost an hour and a half. Behind the scenes stories.
And he had to adjust. He
had some good agility there. Breaking down systems. Like, there were over 50 people watching the whole time. It was so much fun, and we can't wait to do more of those. Definitely a perk for being a diehard. So thank you to everybody who came last night. But we decided, Petey, you can be off today. So that's what's going on.
We're going to see Petey tonight.
We are. We're doing a little Coyotes family dinner tonight. Yeah. But Craig.
That, believe it or not, I was actually invited to.
Yes, he was. But before we get into...
I remember, Sean.
Our 2015 redraft, which is the primary reason for us gathering here today, which I'm sure everyone's super thrilled and excited to look back on. Let's put everybody in a good mood. We're not going to go too deep into it because if you missed our show yesterday, we spent about 30 minutes talking all things Logan Cooley. But Craig, the signing is official. Logan Cooley is an Arizona Coyote.
Yeah, you want to read the contract numbers?
Yeah, I had it pulled up and then I closed it like a big dummy.
Oh, that's okay.
So let me pull it up right now. Okay, so it's a 3-year deal, $950,000 cap hit. The salary, $855, signing bonus, $95. And then what's interesting about this contract is there are performance bonuses. So there's a type A performance bonus of $1 million and then a type B performance bonus of $2.5 million.
Yeah, and you can read all about the division of those sorts of bonuses on Cap Friendly or Puckpedia if you want to dive into that research. I will be writing about Logan Cooley a little later today. We're going to talk to him on a Zoom call right after the show.
So if we're rushing at the end, it's because we're trying to get to that.
But I will have a story that I'm hoping to get written before that aforementioned PHNX Coyotes dinner. But if not, it'll be up first thing in the morning. And you know me, I'm not going to write a basic news story on Logan Cooley signing anyway. I've got plans for a different kind of story with multiple sources. So look for that either tonight or tomorrow morning on gophnx.com.
All right. And I guess that's pretty much all we have to say about Cooley for now.
Let's set the stage.
Yep. I'm glad that we're talking about a positive draft situation with Logan Cooley to set us up for what we're about to talk about, which is the 2015 draft. And I just want to note, we'll have more on Logan Cooley on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel today and at PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. So don't worry, the Cooley content will be coming all summer long. But let's get in our time machines.
Yeah.
And we're going to... That's my time machine noise. We're taking it back to the year 2015. Now 8 years ago, the Arizona Coyotes finishing 29th out of 30 teams with a measly 56 points. This is going to be triggering for Sean too. Only the Buffalo Sabres had fewer points with 54. And then comes the draft lottery.
The draft lottery and the real reason for the rejiggering of the rules for the draft lottery so that you couldn't draft number 1 overall too many years, because the Edmonton Oilers, of course, won the draft lottery and picked first for seemingly the 15th time in 17 seasons and still haven't made it to the conference final even. So yeah, this whole season was about Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel. Everybody knew those were the top 2 picks. Now, Connor McDavid clearly a cut above even Jack Eichel. When you get close to the drafts, people try and hype it and say, well, maybe Eichel's going to... No, nobody realistically thought Jack Eichel was going to be Connor McDavid, and he's not. But it was 2 elite players at the top of the draft, and then it fell off from there. The consensus number 3 overall pick, of course, was Dylan Strome. He was consensus. You looked around, pretty much everybody had him number 3. But the Coyotes were... part of them were trying to tank. I would say that general manager Don Maloney knew what was at stake. Dave Tippett, like most coaches, is not a coach who's going to play to lose, and the players were pissed off, and they did not want to lose. And in the end, they finished 2 points ahead of the Buffalo Sabres for the worst record in the NHL, which, of course, when Edmonton leapfrogged everybody, put them at number 3. Had they just lost a couple more games, they would have been number 1 overall, and at least they would have had Jack Eichel, who would have been a pretty good consolation prize still instead.
Just so he could go and complain about not getting a surgery that no one's ever gotten before and then win a Stanley Cup with somebody else.
Instead,
there's a lot of pain. Oh, do you want to get that?
No, can't get that right now.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of pain for the 3 of us today, like Sean as well, as a Buffalo Sabres fan. Yeah, I mean, it's funny as you tell the story. It's like, I think I've heard this song before, and it's 2023, except dropping all the way to 6th this past season, in terms of not successfully tanking and bad lottery luck. That is the Arizona Coyotes story. And it struck in 2015. It struck in 2023. And it was extremely painful then, because it's like, you want to be in the top 2. And of course you're 1 out. This draft, everyone was saying you want to be in the top 5. Coyotes were 6th. So it's like always the bridesmaid, never the bride for this team. The Coyotes had a 13.5% chance of getting the first overall pick. That's the second highest odds behind Buffalo. And of course, Edmonton jumped overall. And Buffalo dropped to 2nd, and Coyotes dropped to 3rd. And
but we're going to remedy that today, Leah. We're going to remedy that today. As I told people in Discord and on Twitter, with our redraft, I can guarantee you that the Coyotes are going to get a great player in this draft. So, shall we start?
Let's start, Craig.
And
I
Sean,
think...
you ready?
Oh, okay. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for that muted moment. Don't know what happened there. Caleb. Oh, my goodness. Carrie, the question was, Sean, would you still draft Jack Eichel 2nd overall to the Buffalo Sabres?
I mean, like I said, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, it didn't really work out as far as Jack Eichel specifically is concerned, but you look at the Sabres right now, and they turned him into Peyton Krebs, who's one of their best young prospects, and Alex Tuck, who's a local boy and one of their leaders. So I guess, I mean, the Sabres were terrible regardless of who was on that team for most of that Jack Eichel's time there. So I'm fine with them taking Jack Eichel.
They could, like maybe bring in a different team surgeon to say, yeah, okay, go ahead and get that procedure. And then.
But I mean, again, even if they did and he had stayed there, is that team better than they are now?
Maybe not.
Probably not.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Okay.
We're sticking with Jack Eichel. And here we go.
The Arizona Coyotes are on the clock. Leah, you and I talked before the show, and we are in agreement. So why don't you just go ahead and make the Coyotes pick here.
So with pick 3, the Arizona Coyotes select Dylan Strome. I'm just kidding. We are not doing that. So I know there's a lot of conversation about people wanting Mitch Marner to go here at number 3.
We'll get to that in a minute.
But that's not what we're going to do. We're actually going to have our first major jump in the 2015 redraft. And Mikko Rantanen, you are an Arizona Coyote.
How about that? Like, imagine Mikko Rantanen on the team right now as you're starting to add these other pieces. I don't know if they'd be as bad, but Mikko Rantanen would be a nice piece to have on the wing right now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely would. Do you want to explain some of the reasoning why we didn't choose Mitch Marner here?
Let's do it when we get through the next 2 picks.
Okay,
because the next pick.
Well, I just want to say too, Mikko Rantanen, he fits the Bill Armstrong style. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. I mean, he's had a really good career so far in Colorado. He's actually 3rd in the 2015 draft class in points with 513, just behind Marner and McDavid.
Yeah.
So he would have been, I think anyone for Coyotes fans is better than Dylan Strome, but I think specifically he would have been that good of a fit for this team.
All right. Number 4.
This is,
again, I don't have Mitch Marner here. And I want to tell people, okay, I'll say it. I talked to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of analysts who would redraft this, both inside and outside of the league. People in the league and people outside of the league, specifically for these for the picks 2 through 6. I asked them for orders, and it was amazing how much consensus I got. And in this spot is a guy who didn't arrive until later, but has clearly made an impact for the Minnesota Wild. Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov is number 4.
How's
the
that?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
And I think, we talk about hindsight is 2020. And since we have the privilege of hindsight doing this redraft, I think we can do it. I think when you look back at Kaprizov, you kind of think of a similar situation almost to Matvei Michkov this year. There was the big question mark about Russia. You didn't know if he was going to come over. You didn't know when he was going to come over. But I think now you see that he came over and is having the career he's having. Kirill Kaprizov was drafted 135th overall by the Minnesota Wild in the 5th round of this draft. He makes a huge leap to become our 4th overall pick to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who, adding a little speed, some goal scoring ability. Who knows how this would have changed 2016? Although, no, he wouldn't have been with the team yet. He wouldn't have been
there. So
they still would have gotten Matthews, maybe.
What would he look like with Austin Matthews? That's interesting to think. And listen, I don't want people thinking, we're putting too much credit for Mitch Marner's success on Austin Matthews, because obviously Mikko Rantanen has Nathan MacKinnon. Although he carried that team for a long stretch without Nathan MacKinnon, was playing at an MVP level. And I think our friends in DNVR would note that that was the case. At any rate, here we are at number 5, and we won't let him fall any further. Mitchell Marner goes at number 5 to the Carolina Hurricanes. He's 2nd in points, I believe, in this draft overall.
Yeah, he's 2nd, just behind McDavid with 554 points in 507 games played. Good for 168 goals and 386 assists. We know he's the assist master of this draft class behind McDavid, obviously, who just has 1,000 bajillion points for everything. But Mitch Marner, he's a good playmaker, and I think he would have been a good fit for Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, Noah Hannafin is not even a Carolina Hurricane today. So perhaps Mitch Marner would be still. Okay. Now
it gets interesting here. Well, not quite yet, because I think this one's pretty clear, and I don't know who you have at 6, but to me, this has to be Sebastian Aho.
Yeah, another big jump, and this is one that
just signed a massive contract extension.
Yeah, massive contract, and this is the one that I think this makes Coyotes fans a little ill, because the Coyotes had 3 picks in this draft before Sebastian Aho was taken 35th overall in the 2nd round by Carolina. And obviously we all love Christian Fischer, but the Coyotes took Dylan Strome, Nick Merkley, and Christian Fischer ahead of Sebastian Aho. And as you mentioned, just signed a huge contract. He's a superstar, or maybe, I don't know. There's some debate of whether he's a superstar or not. He's definitely a star.
Yeah. Maybe and one level below superstar.
Yeah. And he deserves to go at this number 6 spot to the New Jersey Devils. So that would have been interesting to see how that might have changed the trajectory of the Devils, who went on to have some first overall picks in there. But we'll move on to number 7, the Philadelphia Flyers.
You got?
I don't know. Zach Werenski, maybe? Are you keeping Provorov?
I'm not keeping either.
Didn't Provorov... Dave Tippett wanted Provorov.
Don Maloney wanted Ivan Provorov. Dave Tippett wanted to trade the pick and get Dougie Hamilton from the Bruins.
Oh,
at the
right.
time.
That was it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the Bruins had 3 straight picks in the first round, and the best player they got out of it was Jake DeBrusk.
Okay, sorry. I didn't look far enough down the list. Okay. Matthew Barzal.
He's coming really soon. I have a guy here that I think has been one of the consistently most underrated players throughout his career, and it's Kyle Connor, who is 4th in the league, 4th in this draft class in goals scored. Where is he in points? 6th in points. I just think Kyle Connor is a really special player who can fill it up.
Underrated too, I think.
Yeah, like big time underrated.
Gets lost in Edmonton, not Edmonton, Winnipeg.
Understandable, right?
Both cold places with nothing much going on.
You could make an argument for Barzal. But what concerns me about Barzal is he's kind of fallen off. He had some real spark early, but he's fallen off. Matthew Barzal is actually like 60 points behind Kyle Connor overall. So I actually had Barzal in the next spot, if you're okay with that, because I know we need to get moving.
Yeah.
Matthew Barzal with 1 T.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
It's such a weird spelling.
I think Matthew Barzal as well. Like he's had some injury issues, and he's also, he's been under some coaching regimes that maybe didn't prioritize offense as much, and that may have been a contributing factor. I think Barzal to Columbus I like because he could have been the guy in Columbus, at the time. And keep in mind, Columbus, they had a fun little stretch there when they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round just a couple years after this. Maybe they would have had more sustained success. That's not to say Zach Werenski is a bad player or a bad pick, because he's not. But I think Columbus needs some star power, and I do think Matthew Barzal is capable of being that guy.
Yep, completely agree. All right, so we're at number 9, and I have another surprise here. Maybe not a surprise if you're diving into the details of what type of player there are. It's a defenseman, and I'll see if you agree with me on this. Okay. Now, not necessarily the same point total as the 2 guys you just mentioned, not quite there yet. But as a complete player, I have Thomas Chabot here from the Ottawa Senators.
Wow.
I think he may be the best defenseman in this draft.
Interesting. Yeah, he's definitely not the defenseman with the most points. Werenski has the most points among defensemen, followed by Hanifin, then Thomas Chabot.
Yeah, Zach Werenski, who has had some tough times of late. Like, coach is not happy with him, diminished role, because more of a one-dimensional player, I would say, than Thomas Chabot. That's why I have Chabot in this slot. But I don't know if people agree with me. I mean, it's a redraft, right?
You know what, Craig? Why not? He can go to San Jose. They this is, why not give another Ottawa Senator defenseman to the San Jose Sharks?
It's funny. I like those defensemen you're talking about. I don't get to them for a few more picks.
Okay.
In my redraft, just because I look at more complete players. And in the 10th slot here, I had Timo Meier.
Okay.
Who just re-upped as well, and I thought he was terrific in the playoffs this year, by the way. But another big guy.
That would have been fun on Colorado.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a good fit on that roster.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm not going to argue much. We got in our goalie fight last time you and I did this, but I'm not going to, you have your pen and paper. I just have my Excel spreadsheet. It's 2 different generations here of doing this, but so we have 1 through 10 done. To recap,
look at the talent in that top 10.
Crazy.
This was a really good draft.
Which gives me some hope also, because 2023 is it's considered kind of one of the better drafts, like 2015, like 2003, with that level of depth, and with the Coyotes having 2 picks in the top 12. Hopefully those guys turn into superstars and stars like we see on this one. But to recap, at number 1, we kept Connor McDavid. At number 2, we kept Jack Eichel. The Arizona Coyotes take Mikko Rantanen. At 3, number 4, Toronto, Kirill Kaprizov. 5, Mitchell Marner to Carolina. 6, Sebastian Aho to New Jersey. 7, Kyle Connor goes to Philly. 8, Matthew Barzal goes to Columbus. 9, Thomas, you say, is it Chabot or Chabot? I always hear
I don't
Shabbat.
know, actually. I don't know, actually. I should.
I think I've heard
Where's
Shabbat.
Major? Correct my pronunciation, just like you always did with Akuratu.
He goes to San Jose, and at 10, we have Timo Meier going to the Colorado Avalanche. I'd be curious what our DNVR Avalanche friends would have to say about this one, but that is 1 through 10. So we will carry on with the rest of our draft here in a moment. But listen, we talked about PD and all the work that he did yesterday, and we all know PD. He gets a little stressed out. So PD, I think you're here in the chat. If you are, can you confirm if you drank a Wink when you got home last night? I mean, Wink has been great for someone like PD because it's just a little bit of Wink to get you high, a wink of getting high, if you will. And it's just perfect to take the edge off. And sometimes that's all you need. You just want to take the edge off. You're not trying to go to outer space. And that's what makes Wink so great. And Craig, delicious. You and your wife both are fans of the tastes of Wink.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So Wink of THC in there, get you just a little bit high. Grab a Wink. Amazing, delicious flavors. It tastes like your favorite flavored seltzer, but I would say better, actually. And check out our friends at Wink. Check them out. They're available in either 2.5 milligram or 5 milligram cans. You can find Wink right here in Arizona. Look for Wink at all Sunday Goods dispensaries in the Valley and Botanica dispensary in Tucson. They're now in 12 states nationwide and even recently launched online ordering and home delivery to about a dozen others. To find the fastest way to get your hands on one, go to drinkwink.com. That's drinkwynk.com. So definitely give our friends at Wink a try. Just great stuff all around. And you can maybe even bring a Wink out to the golf course because Pins and Aces has a beer sleeve that keeps your drinks cold on the golf course, even when it's 110 out, as it has been higher than that every day here in Arizona. Yeah, Pins and Aces, they don't just have apparel, they have accessories as well. Hats. Gotta keep sun safe here, you know?
People still call them koozies? Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I don't know if Bob Cousy trademarked it or family.
Bob
They
Cousy.
can't do that anymore.
Do you know in Australia they call them stubbies?
That's right. We had to. Didn't we talk about this when we interviewed players?
And that we do have. By the way, we talked to all the players about Australia on media day or wrap up day, and that video it's in the bank. It's coming when it gets closer to Australia. So, but anyway, Pins and Aces, great golf apparel. The fabric of the clothes is amazing. It keeps you cool and really, really great patterns and designs too. So you can check out pinsandaces.com and use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Okay. It's Shabbat, not the French Chabot.
Okay.
Shabbat. Thank you, PD.
Should be OTTE then, in my opinion, but that would be French.
I like it. It's because Shabbat sounds like Shabbat, like every Friday when you're Jewish. Yeah. Okay. Friday to Saturday.
Okay.
Let's carry on.
11
Let's
through
go
20?
11 through 20.
Leah, I feel like I've taken too much ownership over the first 10. I feel like you should make
Okay,
picks
let me
11
just
and 12.
cross off this one. So I'm trying to stay on top of it this time. I learned a lot from the last time we did this, and I was not prepared. Craig actually wrote out his list. I didn't. I'm just going by vibes. Let's see. We have a couple guys available in this spot. You got Brock Besser, Zach Werenski, Noah Hannafin, obviously still available. Oh, I need to cross off Kaprizov here. Florida. What do they need? I don't know. Did you have a forward or a defenseman here?
I'm not going to say. I think you should. You're on the clock, Leah.
Okay. Let's pick. Let's do Brock Besser.
That's who I have.
No way. Okay. Yeah, Brock Besser.
Leadership qualities, size. Yeah.
And I don't think he's thrilled in Vancouver. So let's get him out. We'll get him to the opposite end of North America, down to Florida. Brock Besser has, let's see how many points.
We're all players who play for Canadian teams really want to go, right?
I know. 311 points in 398 games played. That's a pretty good production for the right winger, bringing some offense down to Florida, who, this was pre-Matthew Tkachuk, pre-Huberdeau, all of that stuff, so they could have used it. So, Brock Besser, you are a Florida Panther.
And at 12, you're up again.
Okay,
I'm Dallas Stars.
Dallas.
That's not a wrong answer here, by the way, so.
Oh, okay.
Some of the names.
I want to go. I think I want to go defenseman here. Although Boston is about to have 3 picks, so maybe they should get one of the defensemen.
They could still.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Werenski or Hanifin should go here.
Who you got?
But let's do Zach Werenski here.
Werenski
Are you fine with that?
Yeah,
okay. Zach Werenski to the Dallas Stars. And now it's Boston. So really doesn't matter here. Let's just do better than what the Boston Bruins did.
Which won't be hard.
Because this is who they drafted at 13th, 14th, and 15th. Jacob Borrell.
Right.
Jake DeBrusk, we all know him. And then Zachary
Senyshyn, and he was not a sensation. Say it that way.
How do you I mean, Jake DeBrusk, you can argue is a success, but how do you miss?
On 2 of 3 at that
in a row,
yeah,
13, 14, 15?
That's brutal. Jake DeBrusk is a good player. So they got something out of him, although he seems like he's in trade rumors every season. But
yeah,
I wouldn't do that either. Can I just throw 3 names here and get them all out of the way so we can do all of Boston's picks at once?
And I can tell you which order I think they should be. How about that?
Let's do Noah Hanifin.
Okay. Noah Hanifin will give them a defenseman.
Yep. Yeah, and I am spreading this out for positions to make this make sense, right? Next would be Roope Hintz from the Dallas Stars. You know,
he's been great for them. Yeah,
he's impressed. He's a very good player. Has played well in the playoffs. Again, guy with size, a guy who's versatile. So I have Roope Hintz going next. Sean is still looking for Roope Hintz.
ROOPEHINTZ.
Yep. Sorry, Sean. We're throwing them at you staccato here.
We're going quick. There's a E, right? Oh, no, there's not. There's not. You're good. You're fine.
And then with the last one, Travis Konechny, who's a center. Played the Flyers took. I have those 3 players going in those slots.
Okay.
Balance it out for the Bruins, and it is a much better draft for the Boston Bruins. Who knows? If they had gone this route, Boston Bruins might have
a guy available that we hadn't yet picked. So now we are moving down
we're on the back end
list.
of the draft. Through half of it.
And now it's the New York Islanders who, with this pick, is where they selected Barzal.
Sorry.
We're not doing that.
And Barzal, you could have a center, if you wanted a certain guy who went a lot higher originally. Just saying.
Dylan Strome? I don't think so. I don't think he's going yet.
I don't think he is either.
Okay. Let's see who's still available. We got Pavel Zacha. We got Beauvillier, who he's not anymore, but was
Provorov's
drafted by.
Too.
Yeah, I do like Provorov. Let's see. Islanders defense. What do you think? Provorov here?
I think Provorov's a fair pick.
Let's do Provorov here. And by the way, we're missing an A in Travis. Sorry, Sean. But I like a defenseman here. Provorov drops from 7 to pick 16 here. Now we are moving on to the Winnipeg Jets, who originally in this pick drafted Kyle Connor, but he is off the board. So let's see. I have too many tabs open. We got Jake DeBrusk available. We have Eriksson Ek, Vince Dunn. Connor Garland is available.
We're not quite ready for Connor Garland. You said Zacha earlier, too. Pavel Zacha is available. And Dylan Strome, who, by the way, I think is 15th in this draft in overall points.
Yeah, he's actually the highest, or Pavel Zacha is, and then Dylan Strome. Yeah.
We could go those guys back to back if you want.
I feel like Dylan Strome was born to be an Ottawa Senator. So let's do Zacha to Winnipeg and Strome to Ottawa.
Okay, sure.
Right? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I mean, those either place. I thought you could send him to Winnipeg if you really wanted to banish him. But
no, I don't want to. We'll keep him in his home.
Strome's a really nice kid.
We'll keep him in his home province of Ontario.
And when he retires, he can replace Shane. God, see,
you do this every day.
Now. He can replace Shane doing reading the disclaimer because he literally talks that fast normally. You don't even have to speed up the audio to get him there.
That's true. The disclaimer. Okay, so Strome and Zacha off the board. We now are to the Detroit Red Wings. And Craig, do you think we might do a trade here? Like, should we trade or not yet? Craig and I might make up our own rules in this draft and make a trade, but maybe not yet.
We might get there soon, but I'm not quite ready. Who do you like here? There's arguments for Eriksson Ek, for Beauvillier, I think those two guys actually would be the guys that I would consider here. But
I think I like Eriksson Ek here.
Right. Yule Eriksson Ek.
Is that how you say his first name? It's not Joel.
Nope.
Joel Eriksson Ek. Who knew? He's been great with the Minnesota Wild. 206 points for them in 421 games played.
And then
Minnesota, sorry, we took your guy. So Minnesota, is this where you want to put Beauvillier?
Sure.
Okay. Anthony Beauvillier jumps up to pick 20 from pick 28. Originally drafted by the Islanders, currently a Vancouver Canuck, part of the trade that brought. Why can I literally not think of his name? Bo Horvat.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, to the island. And sorry, Beauvillier and Barzal, you are separated because I know they're besties, and they were sad when Beauvillier got traded to Vancouver. But it is what it is. So here's what we got for picks 11 through 20. I don't think any pick has stayed the same outside of the top two, by the way. Because I feel like when we did this last, there were a couple that still somehow slotted the same. At 11, we did Brock Besser to Florida. At 12, we did Zach Werenski to Dallas. At 13, 14, and 15 to Boston, we have Noah Hannafin, Rupe Hintz, and Travis Konechny. At 16, Ivan I almost said Prosvetov. I'm so used to saying that. Ivan Provorov to the Islanders. At 17, Pavel Zacha to Winnipeg. At 18, Dylan Strome. You are an Ottawa Senator. At 19, Joel Eriksson Ek to Detroit. And at 20, Yule Eriksson Ek to Detroit. It is fun. It's one of our fun sayings. And at 20, Anthony Beauvillier to the Minnesota Wild. By the way, chime in the chat if you're like, what are you guys thinking?
Seriously.
And I'm sure you can feel free to chime in on Twitter later as well. But we will carry on with picks 21 through 30 in just a second.
Dan, you are absolutely right, by the way. Those three Bruins picks, wow. Like, I can't imagine coming out of the draft knowing you have three mid-first round picks and the best you got was Jake DeBrusk. But go ahead.
Yeah, bummer. But listen, we're shuffling guys all around the country, all around North America. If this was a reality, we would tell them you got to get in your cars and move and stop at a Circle K on your drive to wherever, because no matter where you are, Circle Ks are there for you, which I love. I love the consistency of Circle Ks. I love the consistent gas prices, and I love their snacks, and I love their Polar Pops, obviously. Let us know if you see any of us on the Circle K screens. Sean's been spotted out there. I think my time on the screen has come to an end. Maybe that's a good thing. But when you stop at Circle K, make sure you go inside and check out all of the great stuff they have to offer. And right now, everybody take out your phones if you haven't done this. It's like a free offer. Text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle Ks near you. All right.
Back 10.
No, we got one more.
My bad.
Mikko Rantanen. It's not Colorado. It's Arizona. Pack your sunnies. You're gonna need them. Logan Cooley, pack your sunnies. By the way, Logan Cooley, like with sunglasses and his flow, like that's a look. Driving down Scottsdale Road. Logan, you're gonna love it here. I'm so excited for you to get here. But check out Shady Rays. It finally rained last night, but for the most part, it's sunny every single day here. So you need Shady Rays to get around. And Shady Rays are the best because they're affordable. They're stylish. Every style that you see, there's like 5 colors that it comes in, which I love. And if you want to try them on yourself, you can go to the store at Kierland Commons. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can return or exchange them for free within 30 days. So there's really no risk when you shop. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Nay, yes, they still accept the Fry's VIP card for gas. So if you have a Fry's phone number, you can get your Fry's fuel discounts at Circle K. That is a fun fact that not a lot of people know. My mom didn't know that. And I often save money on gas at Circle K when I do that. So thank you for the reminder, Nay, about that. And my name is Fat Mike said my prescription Shady Rays came last week and they are incredible. Definitely recommend. I love to hear it. We all love our Shady Rays.
Thank you guys for educating me on those. last show too, like when we were in here, letting me know what prescription sunglasses were versus.
Transition. Yeah, that was. I forgot. I was like, what are you talking about?
70s look that I wanted to get back to.
All right, let's
get to the back 10.
21 through 30. Let's pull it up. And I haven't been doing a good job of this on today's show, but let's just read who originally went 21 to 30. Colin White, Ilya Samsonov, Brock Besser, Travis Konechny, Jack Roslovich, Noah Juleson, Jacob Larson, Anthony Beauvillier, Gabriel Carlson, and Nick Merkley. Nick Merkley.
Good dude. It was a shame about all the injuries.
I know.
Never really got a chance to be what he could have been.
Okay. Ottawa's back on the clock.
I'm throwing 2 picks out here right away. Just two players that I feel like have to go. Jake DeBrusk has to go.
I think so too.
Yeah. He's been a good player, even though he's been the subject of trade rumors a lot.
But that doesn't mean he's not a good player.
Yeah, he's been a productive player. And the other player who had a terrific season last year and signed a contract that they may regret, Vince Dunn, who had 64 points with the Seattle Kraken last season, 50 assists. Vince Dunn needs to get off the board. That's a productive defenseman. You may feel there are holes in his game. There probably are, but Vince Dunn is off the board to the New York Rangers in this spot.
Okay, I like it.
Is it the New York Rangers?
Yep, New York Rangers. Okay. By the way, Craig, people are complaining about your mic, so you should put it in front of your face.
Okay.
Just move it in front of your laptop.
This is familiar for me, actually, because this happened all the time in the Natty Hattie.
Really?
People used to complain, so
That's so funny.
I leaned into it.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. Okay, the tech issues are just, if you were here last night, you know what we're talking about. But anyway, let's move on to the Washington Capitals, who originally drafted Ilya Samsonov here, but I don't think we're taking a goalie at all. Are we?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, goalies. You can drop. Let's see. Well, if you look at the list of points in this draft class, the next guy is Connor Garland, but I don't know how I feel about Connor Garland with the Washington Capitals as a fit.
What about this guy who
I literally was about to say, the guy we are pointing to that no one can see is Troy Terry.
He's a popular guy in Coyote circles too, right?
Trevor Zegras, I think, is more hated.
Troy Terry was part of that whole mix, but not as big as Trevor Zegras, yes.
So we will take Troy Terry. I feel like that's more of a fit for a team like Washington. Do you have Connor Garland going in round 1?
I do.
Okay.
But I feel like Anthony Cirelli should be the pick here. He's been a pretty good player, an underrated player in Tampa, a part of those cups.
Yeah.
He's, again, center position. I think it's important. And then I'd be okay with Connor Garland going next, although...
You don't want him in Colorado?
I was thinking maybe... Where are we? Pick 25?
Yep. Is it time for a trade?
Might be time for a trade.
Okay.
Might be a time for a trade.
So, yeah, Colorado, they've already had many picks in the first round here. Mm-hmm. So I think they're willing to part with pick 25. And I'm sorry, Sean, that we're going to make your life hell for this when we make the graphic after. But we have a trade. We have a trade to announce.
We do, right?
The Colorado Avalanche trade pick 25 to the...
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Do we have that wrong? Isn't Winnipeg 25?
We might.
I think we might have something out of order here.
Oh, yeah, we do. Sorry. This is not Sean's fault, by the way. There's a lot going on. 25 is Winnipeg. 24 is Phil. Okay, we were correct with... So 26 is supposed to be Montreal. So that was the only mix-up. So 25 is Winnipeg, and 26 is Montreal, which is fine because Winnipeg also has had a high pick. So they are willing to part. So this will be a Winnipeg trade.
Yeah.
Winnipeg trades pick 25 to the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for picks 30 and 32.
And
the Arizona Coyotes with pick 25. Select Lawson Crouse.
Gotta have Lawson Crouse.
He was destined to be an Arizona Coyote. Yeah. We were going to possibly have him go at 30, but we didn't want him to drop that far. We felt like he was more of a 20s guy in this draft. I mean, he was originally picked 11th overall by Florida. And that's not to say that he didn't deserve to go high or in the first round but we've just seen how deep this draft class is, I think. So Lawson Crouse.
Okay.
On the Twitter graphic, we will make this an Arizona Coyotes pick and we will note the trade in the copy of the tweet so people aren't confused.
Okay.
But that was originally Winnipeg's pick, and now at 26, this is actually the Montreal Canadiens.
And I'm okay with
here
him
at
going here. Connor Garland.
I like Connor in Montreal.
Fact,
he played in the
He played
queue.
in the queue. He's familiar with it. I think he could fit in. Connor Garland can fit in just fine in Montreal. So
I think it's just one end, Sean.
yes.
Okay, Connor Garland. He makes a huge jump up. Obviously, we all know Connor Garland is one of the best late round draft picks in Coyotes history, going 123rd overall. He paid his dues in the American Hockey League, and when the time came for him to step into the NHL, he absolutely flourished. And I like Connor Garland in Montreal. Montreal is not afraid of having undersized players either, and I think they've done a really good job with them. And now their head coach is a former undersized player himself, Martin St. Louis. So we will move on here to Anaheim, who originally took Troy Terry, who is off the board. So Anaheim, I need to make some
you got some guys in mind?
I need to make some strikeouts here because I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm like really behind on my
I've got
spreadsheet.
a couple players to consider here. Rasmus Anderson, who is a Montreal Canadian and who's been a pretty good defenseman coming along. Andrew Mangiapane.
Yeah.
Another interesting player to consider. Any thoughts on either one of those guys?
I think I like Rasmus Anderson to Anaheim, and then I want to do Mangiapane to New York.
It would work on, Mangiapane could play on Long Island, could he?
I really like
Mangiapane.
Mangiapane, an Italian on Long Island.
That works for me. I like this.
So yeah, let's go ahead and do Rasmus Anderson bolstering the blue line for the Anaheim Ducks, and then we will do Andrew Mangiapane to Long Island with the Islanders.
This works, and we're down to our final two picks of the 2015.
All right, let me just skim and make sure we're not offending anyone by leaving them out of the first round.
I don't think we are.
So on the board still is Jack Roslovic, Jordan Greenway, Daniel Sprong, Colin White.
Yep.
Well, we also have a Coyotes pick, so we need to know who we want the Coyotes to take too. We could work backwards.
No, you just traded this, didn't you?
Oh, we did.
I traded it. It's not the Coyotes
I'm
pick
a big
anymore.
dummy.
That's
Don't
right.
worry.
It's okay.
It's the pick belongs to Winnipeg.
Yep.
So we will do Columbus and Winnipeg.
We could do Jordan Greenway and then Jack Roslovic, who ended up with Winnipeg anyway, right?
Yeah.
So.
Jordan Greenway, it fills the hole now that they would have or no, he's not. I always think Jordan Greenway is a defenseman. I don't know why. But I like Jordan Greenway in Columbus and Jack Roslovic to Winnipeg at 30.
And that completes our draft. Remember, we took Richie at 30 before.
Okay,
previous draft.
So Tim said my Italian accent is offensive. Tim, I couldn't be more white. Okay, so I'm sorry. I try. But what about when I say Michelli? No one comments then. Mattias Michelli. Okay, so
who'd you put at 30?
Jack Roslovic. Okay, so to recap, at pick 21, we have Jake DeBrusk. At pick 22, we have Vince Dunn to the Rangers. At 23, Troy Terry is headed to Washington. 24, Anthony Cirelli is headed to Philadelphia. 25, the Coyotes traded up from 30. They traded 30 and 32 to receive Winnipeg's 25th pick, and the Coyotes drafted Lawson Krause. 26, the Montreal Canadiens select Connor Garland. 27, Rasmus Anderson goes to Anaheim. 28, I'm not even going to say it because now I'm insecure, Tim. Andrew Mangiapane goes to the Islanders. 29, Jordan Greenway to the Blue Jackets. And 30, Jack Roslovic to Winnipeg.
What a draft. What a draft
and
this
there's
was.
Still depth in the second round is the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Sprong, Colin White, I know Christian Fischer isn't like the flashiest guy, but he's still an impact. He's an everyday NHL player.
Yes, he is.
So let us know. Nikita Kucherov is in the chat. Not enough Russians drafted. Nikita, go back to your summer training. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this was a fun one. The 2015 draft. Wow. Much like 2003 is something special. And I really hope that's how we feel in retrospect about the 2023 draft.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, when it's all said and done, how will the 2015 draft be judged? Will it, in fact, there are some people who think this could be judged as the best draft of the millennium and even surpass 2003. It's got a ways to go. They've got a lot of career ahead of them still, but there is clearly a lot of talent in this one.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was fun. We'll tweet this out and let us know on Twitter if you agree, disagree, what you would like to see different. Tim, don't worry. I know you're teasing. But this has been a lot of fun. We will continue to do this on Throwback Thursday. I feel good about Mikko Rantanen. I really do, for the Coyotes. It's just too bad that's not how history works.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Also, Tim, we would like you to do a voice record of your Italian accent and send it to us, okay?
Yes, that would be fun. We should do that like in the Discord one day and just maybe when Michelli does something cool this season, we can do that. And we can do a super cut of we can like put everyone's voices together. Everyone going, Mattias Michelli. All right, well, would love to see how the odds would have shaken out if this had been how history went, but we can't. I did see someone at the beginning of the show put Logan Cooley's Calder odds. All those things. I loved everyone in the chat yesterday. But just remember, Connor Bedard exists. But why not get some value on the BetMGM Sportsbook app? There's plenty to bet on there. Get your futures in while you can. There's not a ton of NHL stuff up there right now, I think, just with all of the movement. But as the season approaches, definitely check back. But in the meantime, you can bet on the Women's World Cup. You can bet on the MLB, the WNBA, etc. So if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. If it loses with BetMGM, again, make sure you use the bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
So PD's here in the chat. He's not here in person. PD, can you confirm or deny if you were drinking a Wow wheat beer right now for your morning beer on your day off? Let us know. Give us a thumbs up in the chat. We might need to I think Friday beers should be a thing every time on our Friday Fun Day shows. I will for sure be drinking Four Peaks this weekend, especially as it's so hot out. But it's just the best beer around, and they have a beer for every beer Craig likes, we got the thumbs up. I love the peach. You love the Hefeweizen. Sean loves the Golden Lager and Desert Day Drinker.
Oatmeal Stout is underrated.
Yes.
There's so many good
if you're an IPA person, which Craig isn't, but they have amazing IPAs as well. So wherever you buy your beer, you can buy Four Peaks. PD said, finish yard work, time for Wow. Love that. You can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery, but you must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. I feel very happy right now. Mikko Rantanen, in my mind, is an Arizona Coyote today, but for real, Logan Cooley is an Arizona Coyote today. The signing is official. This is a really exciting time for Coyotes fans, and it's the beginning of a new era. If you missed our conversation on Logan Cooley, go back to Wednesday's show. We broke it all down. We even redid our lines. That's out on our Twitter now too at PHNX_Coyotes. And Craig and I are headed out to chat with Logan Cooley in about 10 minutes here. And we'll have stuff for you guys from that a little bit later this afternoon.
I'll have a story either later today or tomorrow.
Yep. So stay locked in. PHNX Sports on YouTube, at PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. And in the meantime, you can follow all of us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Sean_DePaz, at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Happy Cooley Day to all who celebrate, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.